Good evening from Bangladesh. This is your host Toufiq Zohur is speaking. We are really sorry we have started this program 15 minutes later due to our timing adjust. I'm really sorry because from Bangladesh and American time are far different. There is now in 8:42 morning, but in our time it's 9:45 night. So our timing was not adjustable. So our great author Carolyn Stransky could not join, but when we connect her, she is joined. So we are starting this program. Really, I'm sorry, and it was an enjoyable moment. I was, and sucks. Is there any problem? But there is no problem. Only the timing we could not adjust. So this is the problem as happening. So I beg apology to all the viewers across the world who are waiting to watch this such a wonderful interview show today. Today, our episode number is 229, and our entitle of this program is the Star Poet Talk Show Part 10. Today, our distinguished guest is Carolyn Stransky from United States of America. She is a great author in America. So we are starting no more talk because already we have passed some times. So how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank
I
you,
had to
thank
hurry
you,
now,
thank
but I'm
you.
okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a great pleasure for us that finally we are included and we have entered into the studio. Caroline, I just asked you this question from the beginning. When did you first start to write?
I'd say professionally started writing during COVID. Um, but I've always been writing since I was a kid, probably 8 years old. I would journal. But professionally, I started writing in 2020.
2020. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is the most influential person in your life as far as writing?
Oh, I have so many. Probably Whitman as a poet and Maya Angelou's. I have so many that I like. Um, Probably the greats, the old school poets is pretty much what I like. I collect a lot of old books. So I read pretty much everything. I love to read.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Caroline, for your beautiful answer. And now I'm asking the next question. What is the definition of poetry in your thought?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. I would say the definition of poetry for me is the beauty of God's grace. You know, um, I see poetry being very close to infinity. And the reason I say that is it's forever changing. It's a doctrine that you can really express through generations. It doesn't stop at one age group. It's such a worldwide phenomenon of getting emotions across the world because everybody feels it. Um, so I would really say a lot of it is, just snapshot moments of your life. I write particularly what comes to my heart. And probably my most saying is God is my ink. So if it's inspired, it can be anything, a scenery, a feeling, a picture. Uh, I just touch on deep emotions and try to articulate them to where they're a little magical, but I always try to have a point behind what I'm writing. There's usually a meaning behind it. It's endless, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Poetry is endless.
Well, now I am asking you the another questions. What power is there within the poet's pen?
What was that? Repeat it.
What power is there within the poet's pen?
Oh, what's the power?
Yes, it's a power. What is the power in the pen of poet?
Well, my power, like I said, is God. I mean, poetry's love. So if you think about it, everything that's beautiful or everything that may have adversity, we end up writing about grace and trouble, but it always turns out to be some type of inspiration. So I would say the power behind it is God's beauty, just everything around you, earthly. You know, your everyday mundane things can be beautiful. Everything can be beautiful if you look deep enough. That's the problem we have today is people don't look deep enough for the beauty. And it's all around you. So my
Okay, thank
power
you.
is God.
Oh, I see. Thank you very much for your beautiful answer. It's time to uh, you please read one poem from your books. The viewers will interested and they are waiting to listen your one poem.
Let's see, I'll find something I wrote recently called Heart's Cursive. And this is pretty much what we're talking about. The meaning behind this is the love we pour out in writing. So I called it Heart's Cursive. A quiet page, a waiting pen. Silent language starts within. No spoken words, no hurried glance. Just ink, a fiber, and a given chance. The trace that curve of deepest feelings, a secret whispered, not revealing. Each careful stroke, a fragile thread. From heart to hand, my passion led. The awkward phrase, the sudden grace, a lover's smile, a cherished face. All I find there home in black and white, illuminated by love's own light. A memory held, a future dreamed, more vivid than you've ever seemed. A silent vow, a tender plea for only loving eyes to see. And when the final word is set, a timeless promise never met by fleeting breath or passing sound. True love on paper, ever bound. That's one. I wrote that one on July 24th. I date when I write my stuff.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you very much. Really, your every poem is touches our heart because there is some message in your every poem. It's a very, very, very enjoyable moment for us. Thank you very much. Another question for you: is there something regarding writing that you would like to achieve that you have not yet achieved?
yes, lots of things. Constantly evolving, constantly growing. All right. So, pretty much, I haven't achieved my goal that I said I would do when I was 8 years old. So when I was 8 years old, story behind this is I used to journal a lot, and I was a big fan of Little House on the Prairie, Laura Ingalls Wilder, you know, and I wanted to be a writer really, really bad. So, when it comes to uh, putting all my emotions down on paper, it it was something I wanted to do very, very young. So I said to myself when I was a kid, I said, I'm going to be in the library. My books are going to be in the library. And then I also said, I'm going to be in New York's bestseller list, you know, because I used to read a lot of books and from New York's bestseller list. So that's my goal. You know, I'm working on a mystery novel right now, a serial killer. I'm a storyteller. Poetry came naturally, I guess. I was never trained in poetry. People started to like it and asked me, how did I learn? And I said, I just constantly work on my craft. But when it comes down to really writing, I am a storyteller. And I want to captivate audience and pretty much tell a story that will keep you on your edge, you know. So, my next goal is to be that top author on New York's bestseller list with my, which I believe it's going to happen with this novel I'm working on. It's pretty captivating. It's a mystery novel about a serial killer and a group of kids, and one of them is the killer. So, you're going to have to figure that one out. And I'm still working on that. That's a process I've been on for probably about 6 months.
So, the additional question from your answer, I am asking you, why do you like to write poetry or story, and why?
Both. Poetry is a daily writing for me because it allows me to practice, and I don't really need to think too much about character writing when I write poetry. So that is a daily thing. When I'm writing my mystery novel, I have to be in the mood. I have to break it down, and that takes a lot of work. Poetry doesn't take much work for me, so I would say poetry is more freely, and my other writing is more challenging. I mean, I also started a blog, and I write about life. I'm a very spiritual writer, and we all go through adversity, problems, death, everything that a human can go through. And so I write a lot about that, just to reach people that they're not alone. So I pretty much like to write everything, unless it's forced on me. If someone's making me type something up, that's not fun. But if I can create something, that's fun.
Would you please tell us what is needed to write a story?
What is what?
What is needed to write a story? Is there
Oh, to write a story,
example?
what's needed?
Yes.
What? Okay. First you need an idea. Um, I've always wanted to write a mystery novel. I'm a big, huge Stephen King fan. I am obsessed with Stephen King. He's got a bizarre imagination, and I do too. Um, I'm obsessed with detectives and forensic work and science. So it just came natural for me to want to write a story about a bunch of kids. I came up with the idea because I live in one of the best writing areas in Marin County, and I decided to make it. I think when you're writing a story, you got to write some familiarity. So I'm basing the story in this area, so that helps. So if you're going to do a story and create it, you're going to also be bringing in your own personal pieces, rather it's you're going to put part of you into the character. So the characters become alive, they become a part of you. Like I feel like I know my characters. My characters are all very close to me. So it's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling because if you're not a writer, people would think you're crazy, but they're imaginary friends, That's pretty much what it is.
Okay. Is it important to have a philosophy in a story?
Is it important to have what in a story?
Is it important to have a philosophy in a story?
To have philosophical?
I think I'm telling you that the philosophy in a story, if there is philosophy, then it will be shows us such a different things.
I'm having a hard time on
What
that
is the
one.
moral of the story?
Oh,
When you write a story, is
okay,
there
yeah, there's always a moral, but it doesn't have to have a moral. When I'm writing poetry, it usually has a moral, but with the book I'm writing now, the moral is there is really no moral in the story. It's just about you trying to become one with the characters. You're trying to figure out the storyline. You become a part of the scene. It's just like a movie. Um, but really, when it comes down to the book, it's you got to figure out did this person kill these people or not? So you can write with a moral behind it, but mine is fantasy. Mine is just a creativity. So there's really no particular moral.
oil? I'm asking you the same question. from your answer. What is the main theme of your story?
What is the main theme?
Theme, yes.
Okay,
What?
so basically, I'll just run it down for you real quick. We've got a woman who it comes from a very wealthy family, and she's going to be the first lawyer ever, pretty much in this area. Bases in the 70s. So she's a lawyer for a lot of bad people, and she has a son, and that son ends up being convicted, and she has to try to get her son off. So the moral of the theme of the story is the storyline between all the friends. These friends grew up as children in the same neighborhood, and one of them is a killer. So it's really twist and turn. There. That's all I can tell you, because it's going to be very, very secretive. Very secretive. Can't give too much away on that one.
Well, now the another question. What was the main theme of your best-selling book?
Oh, that main theme on my best-selling book on Me and Blue, I got best read. Um, Articulation. I was told the vocabulary was exceptional. So the first one was pretty much made of love and fantasy because I was stuck in the house. So I just wrote about whatever. There was really no theme. I just decided I wanted to publish a book, and I wrote it during COVID because I was stuck at home, and that's how it came to be. It's
Well,
really about love and emotion. Me and my blues. Me and, the color blue and the emotions.
well, poetry has no boundaries. Do you believe poetry can change the world by its own dreamy way?
Are you asking, does writing have any boundaries?
Is there any boundary in poetry? I am asking you
Oh,
like this.
is there any boundary in poetry? No. I'm a big advocate on not censoring any writing. So if somebody wants to write about love, write about love. If they want to write about fear, write about fear. If you want to write about sex, write about sex. I mean, there is no subject that can't be touched. No subject that can't be touched.
Do you believe that poetry can change the world?
Absolutely. Any literature can. When history repeats itself, it's because people aren't educated. Poetry educates people. Poetry connects people. Poetry is a message that is universal. Poetry allows you not to be corrected. Um, it can be in all forms. So there's such a wide acceptance with poetry. Whereas when you're writing a book for a novel, you got to make sure that it's captivating in the first chapter for someone to sit through the whole book. Do you see what I mean? Whereas attention span for poetry is short. Everybody's attention span is short in this world today. So reading 21 lines is more connectable to people than reading 210 pages of a story. Do you see? So people can get that quick message through poetry than they can with a book, with the novel.
Well, we know you have a literary organization, and that is very much popular. 6,000 members are included in your organization. Will you please tell us what is the main purpose of your organization?
That strictly was done because there were too many rules with all the other poetry sites. So when I was in COVID, during COVID, I wanted to express myself, and I got a lot of problems with people saying, "You're only allowed to do 3 poems. You're only allowed to say this, and no, you can't write about that." And I just was like, no. And so I created my own. So it was only done for people to allow them to write as much as they want. They want to put 10 poems on, put 10 poems on. I don't care. Just nothing but hate. So I created an art form of music and poetry, any writing that you want to put on there that can help people or to express yourself. That's what it was for. It had nothing to do with any the rules. The only rule I had was no hate. Other than that, you come on. I don't care what color you are, where you're from. It was about humanity. That's why I got it. That's why I did it. And I did it because I was tired of being told I couldn't post what I wanted to post. So I made my own group. I
Well,
solved that solution.
yes, yes, it's a great solution. Your explanation. Thank you very much for your beautiful answer. Caroline, I just ask you the another question. What is your future plan about your poetry, your story?
I'm publishing the second book called Me in Red. And that's a little more about um, raw material, just better poetry. I improved my craft. It's just better. The thing that you do when you want to be a serious writer is you have to constantly train yourself. And I do that. So you need to write every single day. I don't care what it is, but you have to write every day to increase your better yourself, to improve, to evolve. So
Well, will you organize an international literature festival in the future?
what was the question?
I am asking you, will you organize an international literature festival in the future
Maybe.
from your organization?
I've thought about it. I've thought about doing that as well as a podcast to interview and talk about literature. I'd like to get authors from all over the world to talk about writing. I've been wanting to do it with a team, with someone. I just haven't found the right person. And I have so many projects right now for me to dive into another. That's what happens. I take on too many projects and then I get
So you are interested, and we
I just
know.
don't have the time right now because I started my own business. So I'm running a thrift store, and that takes a lot of time and a lot of work to work for yourself. So it's a new adventure. I
Well,
quit teaching and I started up my own business.
well. Now I'm requesting you for recite your another poem, because the across the world there are 176 numbers of viewers are watching this show, and from 13 countries 29 groups are sharing this interview,
Oh,
different
wow.
parts of the world.
I'll read let's see what I have here. Let's do the kaleidoscope within. This was actually inspired by a picture that I saw on Facebook from one of our other poetry friends. It was just the picture of a kaleidoscope. And I wrote, when I look inside of me, past the surface, what do I see? Not a flawless, polished pain, but fragments echo of joy and pain. Pieces shattered, edged sharp, moments splintered, leaving their mark. A crack of laughter, a tear that fell, stories only my own soul can tell. Sometimes I fear the fractured view, the place where the light didn't break through. But then a whisper, soft and low, a truth the vibrant colors show. But then a whisper, soft and low, the truth of the vibrant colors show. For in this inner sacred space, each chard finds its rightful place. Reflecting, turning, battling the fight, transforming darkness into bright. A thousand angles ever new, a spectrum of emotion, vibrant hue. The broken bits, they start to spin, creating beauty from within. Like a kaleidoscope, ever grand, held gently in my own true hand. My inner world, a wondrous sight, forged from shadows, bathed in light. So let the pieces shift and gleam, a vibrant, ever changing dream. For even from the things that rend, a breathtaking mosaic will transcend. And when I look inside of me, I see not just what's used to be, but a masterpiece unique and bold, a story beautifully untold. There you go.
Fine, fantastic. Now we are going to the ask you the last question,
What's that?
last one question, because we will ask you the two questions. First of one, what is your future plan
Wherever God puts me.
about your poetry?
My future plans are just to keep writing a series of books. So right now, the second one will be out. It's in publication right now, so we'll see what happens with that, and then I'll just keep putting them out. Really focusing on my novel and more writing like that right now. Poetry, like I said, is a daily thing. I write every day, every day.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your beautiful answer once again. And before I ask you the last question, I request you to please recite one poem from your books.
Um, let's see if I can find a short one here. This is called The Soul's True Gold. That soul's true gold, the soul's true gold. What reflection does your aura bleed? What sacred books does your soul deeply read? For within a gentle afterglow begins to stream God's own love language, a radiant gleam. Reverse the harsh dialogue, let his pure halo lead. Now welcome the stillness, befriend your own quiet soul. A silent flush of electricity making you whole. Invest in your inner lumicity, a vibrant, pure design. No fleeting applause, no lost love, no mere gold to twine. For God's own love language will forge within, making your spirit shine. Put away the worries and the routine, endless grind. No longer chase the wants, the needs, the impressions that leave your heart drained and blind. In the sacred quiet place, your soul's true gold is written on your face. I stumbled on that one a little bit because it's mixed in with two papers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am asking you the last question for today's interview. What is your advice for new writers?
Just keep writing. I think for me, why I didn't do it, to be honest, for so long, one, I had a family and I used all the excuses. Okay, I did it all. I said, oh, I want to write, but I don't have the time. How many of us said that? I want to publish a book, but I don't know how. Um, there are so many things that do go into writing, but the first step is perseverance. Do not give up. Just keep writing. And I would recommend for new beginners to actually practice their craft, read other people's work and practice and journal. Write about everything you see. The more you express your eyes to the emotion or what you're seeing, you write it down. Let's say you're looking at a tree. You don't want to just write, oh, that's a tree. You're gonna describe that tree to the detail to the reader so that they can feel it, so they can see it. Every grain, every inch, every color, every bug, every, visionary you see. Bring in those adjectives because that's what brings the reader in, you know. So definitely just keep practicing and don't give up. That would be my answer.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your beautiful answer. Those people who will come to write in future, they will take the lesson from the last question, and that is Carolyn Stransky from United States of America has given us some times, and she has to deliver her beautiful speech, a beautiful poem, because the people who will come to write in after 10 to 20 years later, they will find out this interview from YouTube channel, and they will learn something, because there is some message in this interview for the new writers, for the writers, because the writing is a very practicing things. Carolyn Stansky already told us that every time, every day, you should keep up writing, and you should practice, because practice meant make some different thing. So we are very much happy to take this interview from the great author Carolyn Stransky from United States of America. Thank you, Carolyn, for
Thank
your
you.
beautiful answer. Really, it's show us some new way for the new writers and also us. You have given some very important message through by this interview. Thank you very much for who are watching this show. Good day, bye bye, and stay blessed. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.